This episode is brought to you by Red Riding Hood, the manga-inspired take on the classic fairy tale for readers grades K through 2, written by Christina Oxtra. In Red Riding Hood, readers review the classic story in a brand new way, with twists in the story, more diverse characters, and featuring Japanese aesthetics incorporated throughout. Red Riding Hood is part of a series published by Capstone and written by various artists with unique takes on your childhood favorites. Look out for Red Riding Hood, available on Amazon and your local bookstores. Congratulations, Christina, on your first published book. The link is in the show description. Hello everybody, welcome to Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast here on Boss Rush Games. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me as always is the lore archivist himself, Mr. Josh Finney.
Hello.
Hi Josh.
Hi Corey.
Hey Josh, I have something to tell you.
What now?
The Earl of Sandwich is still following me on Twitter.
Please just get off this show.
The world's
I'm
greatest hot
finding
sandwich.
a new co-host.
I mean, we have one here if you really want to fire me. Joining us is the Colonel himself, Colonel Panic, Joe Wilson. Hello, Joe.
Hiya.
I see you are sitting comfortably inside the Pyramidion right now.
I am, and I'm looking at these Earl of Sandwich and man, they have a caprese. That looks delicious.
I'm going to tell you, it is delicious.
Oh,
I think I've
hungry.
had every single sandwich on their menu at one point or another.
Cheese pizza bread.
Sometimes
Okay.
I even order the kids menu because they have the pizza sandwich and macaroni and cheese, and both are delicious.
I
Listen,
gotta close it.
if you ever make your way to the Earl, Joe, the Hawaiian barbecue will literally change your life.
It will.
Will it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is the greatest sandwich I've ever had. When I go, I buy extras to bring home in my carry-on bag and put them in my freezer.
Yeah,
That is not an exaggeration. I bought like $40 worth of sandwiches when we went in February and brought them back.
Yeah, we had like $80 worth of gift cards, me and my dad, and we spent all of them in like 3 days. So, yeah, it's pretty good. And every time my parents go and we don't go with them, my dad gets stopped at the airport every time because, these cylindrical foil wrappers kind of look
They're
suspicious.
like, why are you smuggling sandwiches?
So you know what you should do? You should get a yellow pelican case, and make it look like docks from Back to the Future, and put biohazard things, so it looks like plutonium cylinders.
That'll go over real well.
It should. I mean, if they're gonna look at you either way, might as well just go full out.
Might as well get my dad a lab coat too.
Oh yeah, Marty,
We gotta go back.
All right. So there's our sandwich casuals minute. Man, now that's all I want. I just want a Hawaiian barbecue and an original and a BLT, and I will be. Man, I'm dreaming now.
Counting down the months until I can go back to the Earl.
I know. It's not gonna be a while. I can tell you that right now. The Earl does not like the masks.
Yeah.
So, I would risk it though. Look, okay. To be fair, if my wife said it was okay, I would risk my life for Earl sandwich in this pandemic right now.
Corey, you are a national treasure. Please never change.
I'm just saying it would be awesome. I'd be sitting there on their
A
patio.
breathtaking take from Corey Deering, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just saying I'd be sitting back, with my feet up on one of the chairs out on the patio, munching on a Hawaiian barbecue. I'd be Twitch IRL the whole time and really just tagging Josh in every Twitter post every like 5 minutes saying I'm still here at the Earl. Saying be a good time. I'd even get one of their brownies, some of their potato wedges.
these all sound delicious.
Oh, you have no idea how delicious this sandwich is.
You're right. I have no idea.
You look. if Destiny was a sandwich,
Okay.
it would be about half as good as Earl sandwich.
Oh my goodness.
So, just saying, just throwing that out there to everybody. I had a really disappointing turkey sandwich the other day. I was like, man, I wish this was Earl sandwich.
Where was it from?
My kitchen.
Oh, that's the worst.
My fridge.
Because you have no one to blame but yourself.
I know. I even toasted it and everything. It was just so bad. It was not good. So, plus, we ran out of like good cheese, so I had to use like my kids' shredded bagged cheese. So it was just real sad. The Earl would be disappointed.
Corey, I'm disappointed.
Pre-shredded cheese is a plague because it ruins the consistency of the cheese.
Yeah.
It's just ruined.
I'm just saying, it was bad. It was not good. Every bite was like a sad, disappointing reminder that Earl sandwich exists. Just a 2-hour plane flight away. So
I want a video of you like crying while you're eating that sandwich. It's just not as
It's
good.
become tradition over the last several years that anytime that either Corey or I goes, we tag the other in our sandwich order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
it's bad,
and it's usually within like 2 or 3 weeks of each other going to.
Yeah, I don't think we've gone since we met each other. Every time that we've gone to Florida, it has been either 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after the other.
Yeah,
every single time, without fail, even the spontaneous trips.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Oh man, Sandwich Casuals.
The Sandwich Casuals.
The podcast within a podcast. That's how that goes, right? Yeah.
Something like that. Podcast within a podcast.
Yes. So this is Tower Casuals, though, the Destiny podcast here. You can catch us live on Thursday nights, live right here on Boss Rush Games, live on Twitch, or on YouTube and podcast services on Friday evenings. To get your Destiny on while you're playing Destiny, you can listen to us talk about Destiny and sandwiches, but mostly Destiny and Hawaiian barbecue. So, yeah, I'm excited. We have a packed show tonight, Josh.
We really do. Yeah, we have a lot we got to get through tonight. We're gonna get to know the Guardians in our LFG. We're going to discuss those pesky Bungie and Xbox rumors. We're gonna talk lore corner for the Exodus quest line. We're going to talk to Schwab, ghost upgrades. And, of course, the main reason why we have Joe here is to discuss vaulting and collections with us.
Yes.
Get his take on those. He said he had some hot takes for us. So
hot takes.
Ready to hand the mic over to him when we get to there.
I have a dream. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, God.
Are they just as hot as the world's greatest hot sandwich?
I can't say. I'm not qualified to answer that question.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll critique you on it then. I'll critique you when we get
All right.
We will be the judge of that.
I do have in-laws in Florida, though, so now I'm dreaming.
Oh, well. You should tell them to head on over to Lake Buena Vista at downtown Disney and walk into the Earl. Get you a sandwich.
We'll probably have more luck at Tampa International Plaza.
Wow. Man. Josh, let's hit up the LFG. Let's get to know Colonel Panic in case people don't listen to Arsenal X.
All right, guys. You know him, you love him. One of our co-hosts over on Arsenal X, Colonel Panic himself, the Colonel. I'm just gonna call you the Colonel. I like it. It's catchy. And, it matches the name of the chicken, of K6's chicken. So, it's all good. So, Colonel, every time that we have a guest on here, we like to ask them a few questions as they're joining our LFG. Okay. And first off, we're going to start with where we start with everybody. What is your connection to Destiny? I guess, when did you start playing? What are some of your favorite things about it? Etc.
So, I am... I've been with a Bungie fan since Halo. I would say it's fair. I've played all of their games now retroactively for appreciation, but I would say Halo was the first game of theirs that I played. I got an Xbox, being a nerd in my nerdery as a child, was like deciding between a PlayStation 2 and an Xbox, and it was like, oh, the Xbox is like just looking at specs on like in spreadsheets and stuff, and be like, I'm getting an Xbox, like the hard drive. And then there was like no games to play for like the first like 3 months. I remember playing Mad Dash Racing, if you've ever played that game for the original Xbox. It's
I remember it.
Like goofy cartoon animals running around. And I remember like I was having a couple friends over, and it's like, I need a game that will replace GoldenEye for us, because we would always play GoldenEye on the TV in split screen. And I was like, oh, there's this game called Halo, and it does 4-player split screen. It's like, so I pick it up, and then we were pretty much hooked on it. So whenever, by that time, like as it evolved and I evolved with it, like I was like, I like this company. It became more than like I like Halo. It's like I was invested in them. So was like really curious about Destiny. I'm an OG Destiny player, so I played Destiny 1. I don't know if I played it on the Xbox 360 at all. I think it was just on the next gen consoles. I don't know if there was any time where Destiny was only on one console.
No.
I played on that, but it was on both.
It was on both. Yeah, it was on both from day one.
Yeah, so I originally started playing on my PlayStation 4.
Okay.
I think. So I've been with the game since launch. I was in the alpha and the beta, and I've never really played a game like that. When I first started playing, I will say that I was like kind of taken back. I was like, I don't know if this game is for me, because the beta had the mission on Mars where you fight the big guy in that room. Cripes.
Yeah, Volstarak.
Yeah. So like, and like, I remember,
AKA as he's known in the Reddit community as Rockets McDickface.
Yes. And I remember like being at the end of that level for like 30 minutes and like hiding behind these barrels.
Hiding
like,
in the corner behind the boxes.
Yeah. And you're just like getting a shot every time he like drifts over, and then you have to go and like clear ads to get some ammo and be like, man, I don't know if I like this. But then I played it like 90 times, and it's like there was something there. Like I don't know if I liked it necessarily, but I also was definitely hooked on whatever was happening. And then you find like people to play with, and I would then play every probably Friday night. I worked people from my work. I would play with them like pretty much every Friday. I'm a Titan main. I've always been a Titan main. I've tried to play as other characters. I can't do it. It feels goofy. It's like living in somebody else's body, but like, oh, this doesn't move the way it should move. I have 3 characters, and I don't touch them. Every now and again, I'm like,
same here. I don't touch the characters other than my hunter unless Mayhem rolls around and I can get double Bright Dust.
I will occasionally go and be like, I wonder if a Warlock is really that bad. And I'll go and play and be like, it doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense to me.
Yeah.
Why is my jump weird?
Why does this jump suck? And it's weird because the Titan, in my opinion, obviously, but like the Titan jump is so great. Like you can just jump forever.
Yeah.
It's Princess Peach in Mario 2. Like he has the little skirt that he lifts up, and he can just float as long as he wants.
I'm never going to be able to unsee that.
I know, I'm not either.
Of Titans lifting their skirts and floofing through the air like Mary Poppins.
I think it's more true than anybody
can know. It's great.
But I don't know, and I was definitely hooked. And I'm not like an RPG person. Like I say that, but I play a lot of RPGs. But there's some sort of meld that has to happen. It can't be like a hard RPG. It has to have something else to get me through it. And I think Bungie has perfected like those moments of fun. They have like this moment that you hit where it's just like pure ecstasy. Like this is fun. And it's enough to sustain you to the next moment that you're doing that same thing. And I don't know. I've been hooked on it ever since. And I will say that unlike a lot of other games, Destiny has highs and lows, and there's times that I get so frustrated at it. And regardless how long I walk away from it, like I'm always back. Like when Solstice came out, and I was trying to grind it, like this isn't going to happen, and I was super frustrated and down on it. And then literally a week later, I'm playing it, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm playing this all day again. It's always there. It's like, I don't know, like one of those best friends. It doesn't matter how long you're apart. When you guys see it, it's just like everything's back to normal again.
Right.
That's me and Destiny.
Okay. So you've been playing since Destiny 1. What is your... If you could take one weapon out of Destiny 1 and bring it into Destiny 2, just throw all of Bungie's rules about overpowered weapons and ammo economy and everything else out the window, what would you bring over and why?
So, it's coming back. So it's not a great answer, but Hawkmoon was the first exotic I ever got.
Hawkmoon, baby. Hawkmoon. Good answer. Good answer. I'm so excited for this.
I was never a hand cannon person.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was in the Vault of Glass. We were down in that area where you have to sneak around the harpies that are... Yeah. When you see them, they go nuts. We went up, we dropped down, and we went to that secret chest that's to the left where you have to climb up and go through that secret passage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there was a chest there. And again, like, this was my first raid. Yep. This is the first time playing with a group. Like, these are people that I know in real life.
Yeah.
And I open up that chest, and then, like, they see that I got Hawkmoon. I'm like, I got Hawkmoon? And I, like, again, like, had no idea what it was. First exotic. And everybody just starts giving me shit. They're like, you got that? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. I was like, I don't even like hand cannons. But because it's an exotic, you equip it for at least a try. And it was glorious. Like, it was like a hand cannon that kind of felt like a scout rifle. Like, you could go some range with it. Had a great sound. It looks super cool. It, like... This sounds so silly to say, but it feels heavy when you're playing the game. Like, you could feel the weight of it, which is something that is unique to Bungie games, in my opinion. Like, it is, every gun has a feel, and I can imagine what it would feel like if I was holding it.
Right.
So I got Hawkmoon, and I up until I had to start equipping Galahorn, me and that exotic, like, that was always there. Like, I was like, oh, I can't use anything in that slot. That's Hawkmoon's slot. Literally, if I were to go into my character, like, there would be no weapons to switch to, because it was like, no, Hawkmoon stays.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Okay, so you're really excited for this gun coming back in November.
I don't know. Like, I would, like, part of me wants to say yes. Mm-hmm. But, like, just given the fact, like, nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
Yep. Especially in a Bungie game.
Is it going to beat how I remember Hawkmoon? Even if that's not how it was, like, the feeling that I have thinking about opening that chest and grabbing that gun and using it. Also, the jealousy factor was great. Like, having everybody that I was playing with, like, be kind of, like, mad that I got it felt good. Like, is it going to trump that feeling? I don't know. But I'm curious. I'm extremely curious about having it, and I would love for it to feel the same.
Okay. If you were going to spend one day with any NPC in the Destiny universe, who is it and what do you go do?
Oh, man. I like Banshee. I would love to...
Okay.
Self-admittedly, I am like a tinkerer. I have a lot of... I have a workshop, like, I call it a workshop. It's my basement. I have a workshop behind me where I like to make stuff. He spends the whole day building guns and stuff like that. That sounds great to me. I'm extremely curious what all these guns look like on the inside.
Would you give an exotic quest to a Guardian with little to no explanation like he does, and just, like, wait for them to, like, walk around the tower in circles repeatedly?
All the time. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to, like, secretly test people. I'm like, I'm gonna give this to them and see what they do with it. So, oh yeah, that would be one of my secret I would be handing out exotic quests left and right, but it would be D1 exotic quests where you have to wait like 3 weeks to complete them, to just visit this vendor that's not there again.
No.
All, like, literally just like timers counting down.
You're a monster.
Oh man, that was the worst / the best.
/ the best.
Worst / the best. Oh God, let's see. If Saint 14 baked cookies, what kind of cookie would he bake, and would you want to try it?
Oh man, I feel like it would definitely have to have some sort of weird aftertaste. Do you know, like, when you get Christmas cookies, like those They come in the tin. What are those things called?
Just the ones that like we know cookies come in the tins, but you're not sure if you've ever actually seen cookies in them.
They all come in this little paper.
Like sugar butter cookies. Almost?
They're like butter cookies. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, and you get some of them and they taste great. And I feel like there's another set that like they look appetizing. They're like, this looks like it's good, but they all taste the same. Like it's like, oh, this one's like a pretzel. This one has a star. This one's this. This one's that. But they all taste exactly the same. I feel like that's what he would make, but it would have the weird aftertaste of some sort of, I don't know, like a licorice taste in it. That's my guess.
Okay, that's
I would say
definitely
not appetizing.
The last question: if you could delete any NPC from the game, who is it, and why is it Soraya Hawthorne?
Oh, I would delete the Cryptarch. Nope.
Listen. The Cryptarch and I had some problems in Destiny 1, okay? Decrypting my legendaries into blues in week 1, all right? We had some issues. Then he took away the loot cave from me, and we had even more issues.
Uh-huh.
But Hawthorne, listen.
I get it.
You're a Titan. You guys like to yeet things. She is standing on the ledge.
Yeah.
She is begging to be yeeted, okay?
And
she just got...
To as far as that Bungie's made her completely useless right
listen,
now.
if you Superman yeeted her off of the tower, she would still look you dead ass in the eyes as you're falling down to the city and go, "You just never quit, do you?" And those are going to be her last words.
So
it's going to be a lore entry the next time we talk about the city on Bungie.net.
So she's, in my opinion, she's clearly an activist. Like, she's someone that I think annoys me because she's such a one-note person.
Yep.
But something that annoys me more than that is just like someone that's arrogant. And I'm sorry, that's the Cryptarch. Every time he decrypts some piece of shit for you, he's like, what are we doing today, Titan? It's like, just give me something that I need.
Back from the hunter soon.
Back from the wild boar chase you went on. It's like, what are you talking about? I just don't like him. He's not for me.
That's fair. I will accept this answer, even though it should 100% be Hawthorne. But thank you for answering our LFG questions. Of course,
my pleasure.
For anybody who comes on, you get a list of random questions that I may or may not think of on the spot for our guests to answer.
You forgot to ask him the most important question.
No, I'm not asking him a sandwich question this week. We're skipping sandwich questions.
No.
We've already had multiple sandwich segments.
I kind of want to answer the sandwich question.
Okay, so listen. We asked the Zavala one. We've asked about Drifter.
What if
Brother Vance was to order a sandwich, what would be on it?
Brother Vance,
that lonely sad sack we never go to on Mercury.
Oh my goodness, that sandwich is going to be real basic. I'm going to say it's...
How basic are we talking?
Egg sunny side up on some bread.
No, I feel like even that, it's got to be like an egg salad sandwich on white bread.
Like, listen, this is the dude who buys the store brand bread where it's like 10 loaves for $10, okay?
Yeah.
He puts a single slice of store brand pasteurized American cheese on there. Okay, he doesn't put on even Oscar Mayer deli turkey, okay? Which is delicious. That motherfucker puts bologna or olive loaf on there. That's what he puts on there.
I will go one step further.
Okay, hit me.
Store-bought bread, clearly. The whitest bread you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Mayo. One slice of not Kraft, but government cheese.
Okay.
Mayo, and then another slice of white bread, not toasted. The end.
All you have to do to get him to even think that is his order is just tell him to Osiris ordered this in the cafeteria. Oh, this dude will never eat anything different, ever. And, like, you find out, like, later on that, like, he got, like, the King Club sandwich in the cafeteria. And Vance is like, what the fuck, guys? What the fuck?
He wouldn't even know.
For eons now.
He got that order once, and then he makes it himself in the corner with his mini fridge ingredients. Never goes to the cafeteria again.
He's the worst.
I mean, dude, he's on Mercury. If he wants it toasted, he can just walk outside. But he's too basic for even that.
Man, what a wiener.
Brother Vance.
You're right.
Wiener.
I didn't realize how much I hated Brother Vance. You guys got me on it. What has he done? Oh man, it's like the worst expansion too. He's really got the shaft.
At least in Destiny 1, he was the Trials vendor.
Oh man, that's right.
Now they have the coolest Guardian ever to be the Trials vendor. So, just throwing that out there.
All right. We actually do have an awful lot of news to get to this week, though. So, Corey, I'm going to go ahead and steer us into our news segment.
Great. Let's do
what
it.
I think is possibly the juiciest news that we could have to talk about on here, and will almost certainly be talked about again on Arsenal X this coming weekend. Earlier this week, we had a rumor break. Jeff Grubb and Imran Khan broke it on a podcast that they did, I believe, on Sunday night. Early Monday morning, people start picking up on it, that they mentioned that Bungie and Microsoft have been engaged in acquisition talks, that Microsoft has made multiple bids, like aggressive bids, to reacquire Bungie. This turns into an entire saga. Pete Parsons comes out and says, no, that's not true. It never happened, with Deej backing him up on it. Ryan McCaffrey from IGN kind of goes, well, about 6 weeks ago when Halo Infinite got delayed, I heard from a high-place source at 343 that there were high-level talks between Bungie execs and Microsoft execs going on. He's like, I don't know if this is related to them acquiring the studio, which I don't think is happening. He says, I think it's related to DLC deals or to maybe their new IP named Matter that they're working on. A guy from insider from Eurogamer comes and backs up what Jeff and Imran were saying. And it's gotten kind of quiet the last couple of days. First questions first. Do we think there is even a remote chance of this happening? Joe, we're going to start with you. You're a longtime Bungie fan, longtime Microsoft fan. Do you think this is possible?
Yes.
Okay. How much? So I think we all agree that it's definitely anything's possible. If we say it's 5% possible, it's possible. How possible do you think this is?
I would say, but when you say possible, do you mean possible of it happening or possible that what we're talked about has happened?
I want two different numbers here. Do we think this talk actually happened? Percentage of the likelihood of this actually happening, and that Pete is having to downplay this legally?
I think 90% chance that this has happened. There's clearly they've been talking. There's been Bungie, or at least I will say Destiny, and Xbox has been very closely intertwined the past 6 months. Mm-hmm. And very clearly, I mean, like look at what's happening with Game Pass. Look at all of the promotional material. Every trailer is really.
Phil Spencer has also said this is his favorite xCloud game.
Also, Josh, remember when right after we started Tower Casual, I was like, did you notice that there's just a giant Xbox logo before every Destiny trailer now?
So yeah, I noticed that back then, and I didn't really think of anything of it. I pointed out to Ray Apollo and a few of our other friends. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I guess they got the marketing deal. And then during the Xbox showcase, of course, we find out about the Game Pass deal. They spent a lot of time talking about the next-gen upgrades. There is another part to this rumor that came out, though, and this is where I want to get into the acquisition talk. A rumor that's kind of picked up steam in the last week or two is that Microsoft, and I'm not sure where it originated, so I don't want to falsely attribute it to anybody. A rumor started up that Microsoft asked Bungie to delay Beyond Light. That Beyond Light was actually ready, but Bungie or Microsoft realized around the time of the showcase that our game is not, or before the showcase, I guess, that Halo may not be ready for launch. Can you delay Beyond Light and be our main launch title? We'll launch you alongside Gears Tactics. And hey, here's a giant truck of money to do it. I personally don't think that happened. I think they actually did need the extra development time going to next-gen consoles. trying to stabilize that 60 frames, because if that and the slightly wider field of view are not absolutely on point, they're going to get massacred for it, and probably rightfully so. This is the second time they've tried to take Destiny cross-gen. The first time, of course, was the 360 to the Xbox One and PS3 to PS4. What is the percentage, and I want to hear this from each of you now, what is the percentage that you think Microsoft will actually continue to try to acquire Bungie?
I mean, I don't think the talks would ever, 100% stop. I think Microsoft's always looking to make acquisitions, and Bungie, and Bungie's a great target to go for, right? And Microsoft has deep pockets. I think that Bungie is too big to stay platform exclusive like that, like a Xbox exclusive. Like Destiny is too big, right? Maybe Matter would be the Xbox exclusive if they did that. But I think it would be a Minecraft situation at this point if Microsoft did reacquire Bungie.
If this ever went just to Xbox and PC, rightfully so, Microsoft would be crucified for it in the media.
Yeah. So, I think it would be really cool to see Bungie come back into the fold, but Bungie is so big. I think they said, every studio that Microsoft has acquired, if you combined all of them, all the studios, it's still smaller than Bungie. So, that's a lot of overhead. That's a lot of new people you're paying. That's a lot of, new funding to a game that, not that Destiny wouldn't make the money back, but it's that's a lot of people you're still paying. And that's a lot of, insurance you're paying on. That's a lot of, studio space and everything that you're now paying. Have they talked? I'm sure they have. And I'm sure Microsoft offered them a ton of money. Do I see Bungie kind of coming, quote unquote, back home? I don't know. I don't know. Money is money. You know what I mean? There's a price on everything. And Microsoft has the means to do it, I would say. But you're definitely investing in a future project and not Destiny, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. And part of the other report that we had heard in this report, what we were hearing is Bungie has rejected Microsoft's offer so far because basically they know their value. What Microsoft's offering is not what Bungie feels that they are valued at. My guess is part of that is that Jason Jones or Pete Parsons would want to take a buyout or have a larger role in the, say, of Xbox Game Studios at that point, if they were to come back. Colonel, I want to get your thoughts on this before I go ahead and give too many of my own.
I think that the offer is probably always on the table for the time being. If an offer was made, I think that if at any point Bungie wanted to come back and ask, I think it would be an open discussion. I agree. I think that they are. I think they've both changed a lot since OG Bungie Microsoft days.
They both have, for the most part, new leadership as well. We should.
And I think they're both in a better position because of it. And I think that's probably why they're both enticing to join up again, oddly enough.
Yeah.
They're the couple that were they separated and they both got hot, and then now they're like, oh, should we get back together? Well, we've already kind of done that, right? Do we still have all the same problems?
Right now they're going out to dinner. They're going out to dinner. They're going to the zoo together.
They're friends again.
It's nice good to see you.
They're friends. They're having a couple sleepovers.
We can be friends.
It's true. A couple of sleepovers.
They're going to Cabo together right now. That's November 10th.
All their other friends are talking about it, but you getting back with so and so? It's no, we're just friends.
Activision is being left behind. Dude, what? Activision and 343 are just kind of looking at these guys God dang it.
So I don't. Oh man, yeah. You left me for that person. Be well, yeah. Oh man, that's amount. And that
there's so many
way stronger than
it
was when I was going into it. So I think they would both entertain it, but I think that at the same time that Bungie is too self-sufficient right now. I think they are too big. But look at what Microsoft did with Minecraft. They pushed it forward, but I don't think anything was held back from it at that point. So I think they're capable of doing something like that.
I mean, they're still doing a Minecraft exclusive release for PS4 with PSVR.
And, like, that's great. I would love to see some version of something come to Nintendo, if at all possible, if any of those rumors are true. So I think the offer is always on the table, and I think they have a good open dialogue right now. Clearly, they talk to one another. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't. I think that there's too much history there that I feel like anybody that works at Bungie that's been there through any of the original stuff would either need to be bought out, as you said, or they would really need some convincing as far as like something like that. I feel like they value their independence, and they haven't had it very long, and it's got to feel great to be wanted. Like every time they're independent, someone is like really trying to court them. That's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah. So I'll try and make this real quick. We do have a lot we need to get onto. For the record, I don't think that this is going to happen. I do think that high-level talks did happen, like Brian McCaffrey was saying. I personally think that it was Microsoft trying to strike a continuing deal for the DLC, possibly to get Witch Queen and Lightfall, maybe to get some Game Pass perks. I would not rule out seeing like a couple Game Pass perks, kind of like Twitch Prime has had. Some old Eververse stuff from like year 1 and 2, but like be like, hey, we're gonna rotate this into the store this season too, so PlayStation players aren't feeling left out. Or like offer the bundle to them for Bright Dust, but hey, we're gonna give it for free to Xbox and PlayStation. Maybe a bundle of like 500 silver or something. I could see something like that having a free season eventually, something crazy like that. But I do think that the crux of the talks did focus on Bungie's next IP, and I think Phil Spencer has realized in recent months that Xbox need to play hardball and buy some third-party exclusives, frankly, buy some new IPs. What better studio to go to than the house that basically built Xbox? Yeah.
Especially because, like, you saw this week that, Final Fantasy 16 is a PlayStation console exclusive, which, that's a huge get, regardless if you're Final Fantasy.
Absolutely huge get. I mean, and I think a Bungie exclusive makes sense on Xbox, much like a Square Enix exclusive makes sense on PlayStation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a Capcom exclusive, like Street Fighter made sense on PlayStation 4 last generation. Tomb Raider didn't make sense on Xbox. That's traditionally a multi-plat and a PlayStation game. Like, a Bungie exclusive, especially a new IP, would make so much sense. Like, the only thing that makes more sense at that point, I think, is the Knights of the Old Republic 3.
Don't tease me like that.
I personally think that's the talk that they had, is they're going to do that. We know Phil Spencer and Pete Parsons are good friends. Phil's been in studio for some Bungie bounties before, especially after the Activision split. He was in there again. And they started kind of cozying up again. It was immediately a Game Pass beta title. It is one of their flagship titles they are pushing with the Android launch. It's coming to Game Pass on Tuesday with Forsaken and Shadowkeep, and then Beyond Light on the 10th for all mobile and console Game Pass users, with PC getting all 3 next year. Like, I don't want to know how many dump trucks of money Phil drove to their offices, but I'm willing to bet it was a small fleet. He may have like had an AC-130 fly over and just drop crates of cash into Luke Smith's backyard at this point. Who knows? And I think it was really interesting you brought up anybody who was there during the Halo days would need to be bought out, because Luke Smith is one of the few senior leadership people who was there. Him, Chris Barrett, there's a couple others who are all obviously like senior gameplay designers or game directors now. Noseworthy, I think, came on just after Halo Reach, maybe. And those guys, obviously, they're so intertwined with what makes Destiny Destiny. Luke's the architect of the Vault of Glass. Without him, we don't have a huge part of the end game. Without him, we don't have the Taken King. We don't have Forsaken. We don't have any of that stuff. So we may not even have Kingsfall at that point. At least not in the way that we remember it now. So I think Bungie is too big to acquire, but at the same time, I don't know if anybody's too big for Microsoft if they open their wallet enough. This is the company that was willing to pay like hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, for TikTok. And Phil's been told, you can open the war chest to get whatever you need to. Bungie has like 400 or 500 employees bare minimum right now.
600, I think. Looking at the article.
Okay, so yeah, they've begun staffing up for Matter then. I cannot see them. Double Fine, for reference, has like 45 employees. Ninja Theory has, I think, 80. Yeah. They're not going to go. What's their name? Compulsion has 40. Like, I don't think they're acquiring. I personally think they're too big. If they did get them, I think it would be with the understanding we're going to take some of your senior gameplay designers and we're going to instill them in leadership roles over at 343 to get that studio back on track. That I saw the Halo fanboy fantasy this week of, oh my god, Bungie can come back and take Halo over again. Bungie is never touching Halo again.
No, they don't want it.
If Bungie ever touches Halo again after the last decade of ups and downs that it's had, I'll do so. I'll eat my hat. I'll eat Joe's hat. I'll eat Joe's hat live on stream and buy them.
I got plenty of them. So, yeah, I agree. I don't think that Bungie wants nothing to do with Halo. And if you were to really look at like the Halo games individually, you can see the evolution of Bungie leading into Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And like they it's absolutely a company that does not want to go back once they've like aged out of a project.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't seem like that's in their, I don't know what their mission statement is like for their company, but I'd imagine that's got to be part of it. Like, we're just like, we don't want to go back to like rehash the past. They're definitely an evolving company. This article that I'm looking at says their estimated net worth is $2 billion.
Yeah, but Bungie's absolutely not getting bought by Microsoft. If they did, it would be the single biggest studio acquisition ever, I would say. It would dwarf what Sony paid for Insomniac, which was I
think it was $250 million.
Yeah, I don't know what's that. I think it was like 150-ish. And I mean, they made that back on Spider-Man instantly. I don't think that they acquire Bungie, though. I think you're absolutely right. I do think that there is going to be a lot of partnerships, though, and that in a lot of ways, like Microsoft may publish their games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it could be like a second-party relationship similar to what Insomniac was before.
What Insomniac was, and honestly, what Remedy was to Microsoft for so many years.
Yeah.
And what BioWare was to them in the original Xbox era. So I guess something definitely to keep an eye on. I don't think we've heard the last of this, but I also don't think we're going to hear anything else until Beyond Light is out. I think after Beyond Light is out, since that is the console day, Microsoft likes to make a lot of announcements around the time that their consoles come out. They traditionally hold an event in November. They did XO19 last year and showed off Everwild, Grounded, Tell Me Why, Wasteland, all those for the first time. I think they're going to have something alongside the announcement of whatever the initiative is working on, and I think it's a Bungie announcement at this point. Yeah. Whether it's a stronger partnership, like, hey, we're going to extend this for the lifespan of Destiny, which, again, killer investment if you do that. Yeah. For Bungie, who is Bungie is actively searching for funding. We know that now. They're trying to pay off the Activision debt. The Stadia deal did not work out, and everybody hated when they were aligned with PlayStation. Even they hated it. At least here, you're not locking content off for people. So that's it. That's all I got to say. Yeah. So any last second thoughts before we move to the Schwab?
No, I look, like I said, I mean, I think we're all Xbox people here, like for the most part. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, PlayStation's great and everything, but like we mostly play our games on Xbox, and Destiny has been a staple of our Xbox library for a while. I think we would all love to see like
the entire generation.
I think it's a better story to talk about than I think it would actually become in theory. Like, it's nice to think, oh man, Microsoft's doing so well. Phil Spencer's like this great
man. The prodigal son is returning.
Yeah, and like I just feel like, you know, it's a better story to talk about than it actually would be. Although I will be playing Destiny on Xbox for a long time. So.
I think you guys both nailed it when you said that there's been a lot of leadership changes on both sides. I think the studio heads, I mean, if you've never read it, I recommend picking up Jason Schreier's book, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels.
Great.
There's an entire Destiny 1 chapter in there. And he talks about so many of the senior Halo designers were so pumped to leave Microsoft because they didn't want to keep making Halo. They were done. And Microsoft's leadership was refusing to negotiate. And parties on both sides have admitted to it. But like Bungie's leadership, once new leadership got in there, and the old ones basically bounced not too long after the deal was signed. They didn't want to work on Destiny. Destiny caused the leadership rift. The younger designers were like, oh, well, crap, should we have stayed with Microsoft? We would have had infinite funding. Like, we could have just worked on something. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't think they want to go back to being published, though. I don't think they want to go back to being owned. The Activision deal probably scarred them, frankly. And I don't blame them. They are one of the most powerful single studios out there. I think that does not have multiple franchises. And is not owned by anybody. Yeah.
Do you think that Microsoft could pull a Sony/Fortnite thing where Sony invested that money into Epic and now like maybe I don't know, maybe Microsoft invests in Bungie without actually acquiring them?
So yeah, my kind of thought on that, because I was thinking about that also. We talk about them possibly publishing Matter. Maybe they come out and make an announcement on stage at like next year's E3 or at like if they do a Digital Expo 20 this fall, and go, hey, by the way, hell, even at the Game Awards they could do something like come out on stage and be Phil and I know Pete Parsons come out or Luke Smith comes out and they're like, hey, by the way, we're going to do a deal similar to what Remedy did with Epic. We're going to publish the next 2 original IPs from Bungie. And they're going to be exclusive to Xbox Series X and PC. I think that would be an investment along the lines of what we're talking about. I don't think they'll actually invest money in it unless they get a direct say in the business dealings, which Bungie would never agree to, frankly.
Yeah.
I also feel like Bungie really wants to do something other than a sci-fi shooter.
Yep. And Matter is rumored to be completely different. So
if you look at did you guys play Age of Booty?
No.
So Bungie made an iPad game that was like a pirate game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was on Xbox Live Arcade at some point too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
So you have to you take a ship and you have to sail it around and then it was legitimately a fun game. I don't even think you can download it on any Apple device anymore. I think they clearly stopped updating it and stuff like that. But I think even the early version of before they started making Destiny, the other games that they were pitching were wildly different, and even the concept art for Destiny is way different.
Well, I mean, so we know Jamie Geisler, who was one of the lead designers on Halo 3, was kind of the leader of one faction, and Jason Jones was the leader of the other. Jason Jones, of course, the CEO, founder of the company. Yeah. Jason wanted Destiny. Jason wanted, or even an even more extreme version of Destiny is what he wanted. Jamie and the others had a medieval, almost Dragon Age style game that they were pitching. Yeah. And eventually the RPG mechanics of that combined with the sci-fi shooter that Jason Jones wanted them to stick to. And lo and behold, you got Destiny, and almost everybody on Geisler's side left after that.
Yeah.
That's, of course, detailed in Jason's book. I won't go into it. But, yeah, I think there's been a craving to do something different. And they're a big enough studio now where, honestly, Bungie's not going away. Like we talked about an engine refresh a couple weeks ago with A1 Johnny on here. If they do an engine refresh next year when it goes next gen only, then I think this game's around for at least another 3 expansion arc past Lightfall.
Yeah.
Because they like to go in threes. You had the Destiny 1 arc, which was the protecting the last city, uncovering some secrets of the universe. You have the Pyramids arc right now. That's beginning. We just had the Red War and threats to humanity. You have the Pyramids arc. That's presumably going to end in Lightfall. Where do you go after that? And I think they've got plenty of ideas. They plan several years out. We know that. I mean, hell, we're about to talk about the TWAB, and they tease something in one of the images from season 15, for God's sake. They're definitely stuff kicking around. So, yeah, Bungie, Microsoft, expect to hear a whole lot more about that in the future. But guys, the TWAB this week. Customizable ghosts.
Yes. Which sucks because I just bought the Indiana Jones ghost.
No. So here's the good thing. We're going to break all this down, Corey. I'm going to tell you why that's not a bad thing. So their goals in Beyond Light that they're going to do, they're going to receive a system update on November 10th. This is going to be a meaty patch. This isn't just going to be Beyond Light content. This is going to be a gameplay overhaul. Ghost shells will now have energy levels and access to mods with energy costs instead of being preloaded with specific perks. So basically, it's going to work exactly like your armor upgrades do. The treatment has been applied to all ghosts outside of the initial generalist shell, so you can use all of your ghost shells regardless of tier all the time.
Nice.
Selection of mods will be available on all ghost shells by default, while remaining mods will be obtainable by gameplay sources. Information on where to find these mods will be learned from collections. Ghost mods will be obtained from gameplay reward loops and will not be purchasable from Eververse.
That's the
kicker. That's the biggest one right there.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely been a concern of the community, and rightfully so, is the continued monetization of Eververse.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping that we see a lot less of that going forward now with the Microsoft deal. And Ghost will have 4 mod slots. 3 are unlocked automatically. The 4th is unlocked when you masterwork your Ghost shell. Before we go any further, I do want to note that Cosmo, one of the community managers, did say on Reddit that the cost is light to upgrade these and will only use Glimmer, Legendary Shards, and Enhancement cores. No need to spend your prisms or golf balls on Ghosts. That's probably the best news for me, because I think that's going to make it real easy for the customization that we're about to talk about. So one of the things that they show in here, when they're talking about the mods, there's going to be an experience mod slot, a tracking slot, an economic slot, and an activity slot. The last of which is unlocked when you hit 10 energy. You can mix and match mods from these categories however you like with respect to their energy limits, much like your armor. For example, a Crucible-focused player who wants to grind out materials and earn XP towards their seasonal rewards might choose Guiding Light, Meager Glimmer Booster, and Lesser Core Harvest for the Crucible. There's a variety of combinations that can be sub on different ghosts to suit whatever goals you may be chasing. For those wondering what will happen to old Ghost perks, most of those have been brought forward and largely unchanged as default unlocked mods. So things like Speed Demon, so your Instant Summon, your Treasure Hunter, your Guiding Lights, those are going to be automatically unlocked, it sounds like. In some cases, destination-specific material or cache trackers, those have been transformed into globally effective non-destination-specific versions for better utility. So I expect resource finders, for example, like EDZ Resource Locator. And then they say Kill Tracker and Leviathan Boss Kill perks will remain intrinsic only on their specific Ghost shells. But you'll be able to build most of the popular exotic perk combinations that were available, such as Guiding Light and Treasure Hunter. And on these, so they give us 2 mock-ups of what the ghosts look like. I promise I'm about to be done explaining, and we'll get everybody's thoughts in. They give us 2 examples of mods on here. So both of these cost 6 energy, but one, for example, is it looks like it's in the 2nd slot, and it's the experience mod. It's called Blinding Light, and it increases XP gains by 12%. It's only 500 Glimmer to equip it, but it has a note on it that says this mod is fragile and will expire at the end of Season 15. So it's kind of implied this is a mod we'll get at the beginning of Beyond Light, and it'll expire next summer. Same with the next one that they show, which is Greater Core Harvest for strikes. It specifically says for Vanguard. Defeating bosses in Vanguard playlist strikes or Nightfalls has a chance to award enhancement prisms. So the gold bars that you get in endgame activities, which are kind of hard to come by unless you are purchasing them from the gunsmith or you have teams to matchmake with on higher level Nightfalls. So I'm really excited for what this means for customization and for what it means for grinding out. I think that's a much more acceptable way for those of us who maybe don't want to go play 1080 Nightfalls. We don't want to go do master level Nightfalls just to get prisms and maybe golf balls or something like that. Kind of help you stockpile materials a little bit better, buy those endgame golf balls to fully upgrade your armor. I personally plan to have a ghost for each activity since it's so cheap to upgrade them apparently. I fully plan to have a Vanguard, Crucible, and a Gambit one. But guys, what do you think about this? Is this good? It's definitely pushing it in more of an RPG direction, like so many of the changes have the last couple of years.
I think it's great. feel like this stuff, like, because you have all these ghost shells that do these things, and I can tell you that as much as like I have like where the treasure locator for like specific places like are available, I don't change my ghost.
No,
like I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm on Mars right now, so I'm going to make sure I change my. I'm just not doing it, and I don't see that had any value. But this, I can pick and choose kind of what it wants. The only thing that bothers me about it is that it immediately made me be like, can I do this for my Sparrow now? Like, just let me do it for all my items.
Yeah, so there was a joke on Reddit. They're like, we've now done Weapons 2.0, Armors 2.0, Triumphs 2.0, and Ghost 2.0. Are Sparrows next?
Yeah.
Because the concern I saw somebody be like is like, oh my god, what if Guiding Light and Speed like Instant Summon are both like 6 power? Like, oh my god, that's gonna ruin us all. Like, I think Sparrow mods are coming, frankly.
I'd be kind of surprised if they weren't now.
Yeah.
The way that this is looking at it, but I like it. I like the ability to customize your ghost. It adds value to my ghost, which right now only gets changed if I get some sort of exotic one that I think looks neat for a little bit, but even that wears off so quickly. So yeah,
sure.
Give me a reason to go in and play with something that I can change.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think it's going to give people more incentive to change out their ghosts, especially like you said, Josh, you're going to have one for each activity and really kind of go that way. Mm-hmm. I'm glad it's for all ghosts because I have like 3 or 4 different ghosts that I actually like to use, including the Indiana Jones one I just bought, which is awesome. I have the Indiana Jones one. I have the Cabal Shield, the Spiky Servitor, and even though I'm a hunter, I really, really love the Warlock shell from Guardian games. So I've been using that a lot too. But I mean, I have so many ghost shells in my collections I'd like to pull out that I just want to keep reusing. And this is the perfect excuse to go and experiment with them. Like, I think letting Crucible and Gambit players, if that's where you mainly like to play, like I personally don't like doing strikes, but I want to get in-game materials, I can now earn them in the Crucible and in Gambit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, I like to play Gambit. I admitted it.
No, I think it's a smart way to customize how you want to play the end game.
Yeah,
like
it really goes back to their whole philosophy that they were preaching during Shadowkeep, and I think we saw it to an extent, but I really think they're embracing it now of play however you want, when you want, where you want, with who you want. Mm-hmm. It's kind of emblematic of the whole Xbox thing going into this generation too, I think, which is just an ironic coincidence.
Maybe that's what their high-level meetings were about. Phil Spencer's like, let me customize my ghosts, and they're like,
dude, I swear to God, if that meeting was for Phil to get us customizable Sparrows, I will, 1, be so happy, and 2, laugh incredibly hard. That would just be the best.
I honestly think that in any meeting that they've had, there has been questions like that. Like, why can't I do this with my ghost?
Yeah.
And then they have to, like, laugh and answer it, and they're like, just wait. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I bet that's happened.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we all kind of feel the same way. Just kind of a quick schwab this week. Any other thoughts on ghost shells before we tackle one other little tiny thing that was on the schwab?
I'm just glad I get to keep my Indiana Jones ghost to make him cooler than he already is.
He had crappy perks too, so
I know.
I'm glad to get rid of Treasure Hunter. I'll just say that.
I have never. So October is my favorite month of the year. It's fall. It gets cooler. I can have soup as often as I want without getting weird looks. It's my birth month. There's Halloween. There's everything about it I love, but I've never wanted to skip to November more than I have this year for everything.
See, I say that, and then I saw the armor that you can earn during Festival of the Lost.
It looks so cool.
Man, listen, I may have to play a Warlock just so I can be Count Locula. And I really, really need the werewolf-looking hunter set. That's something I think I would rock year-round. It definitely beats the stupid skeleton armor from last year. This is the first actual cool Festival of the Lost set. I'm really excited to see it officially revealed, not just data mined here in like a week or two.
Do you guys get from the data mine picture, the Titan gives me extreme Boba Fett vibes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Before we move off the Schwab though and get to really our main topic of the night, I do want to address one small thing that is in here. It's titled Honoring a Friend, and we're just going to go ahead and read the excerpt from here. Next week at Reset, we have a tribute going live in-game to honor one of our dear friends at Victorious Visions who passed away last year, Matt Helsum. The weekly Reset will include a director message that will send you to Mars for a short quest to honor his life. He worked closely with teams at both Bungie and Victorious Visions on various projects during our partnership, and we want to memorialize his contributions to the Destiny universe. I think this is a really cool, really special thing to do. I know some people are probably back, oh, well, we didn't get some amazing reward from this. Like, why is this in here? I think this is a really special thing to do. We've seen Bungie do little things like this before for certain people, but never actually do a quest line. So I think this is something special to honor somebody who worked on the game. I think it's a really neat gesture of them.
Yeah, for sure. It's you always hate to see like something like this happen to someone, but to memorialize them in some way. It's like when World of Warcraft, like when Ron Williams passed away, they put a little blue genie in there somewhere, and like, you know what I mean? Like just little things like that is always fun to see. It fun isn't the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think it's neat that it's a way to create memories linked to that person for everyone that plays the game.
Yeah.
Because like everyone usually remembers quest lines and things that they've done that are like unique in some way. So I think it's neat to find a way to get everyone involved in an activity in someone's honor through the engine of like the game. I think it's neat. I like it.
Yeah. So that's kind of our last. That's one of our last little things. Making sure we didn't miss anything here. Real quick, Hotfix is going live on Tuesday. We don't know what it's for yet, but it seems that it's tied to. It seems like it's tied to Game Pass, and the expansion's going live for everybody. But yeah, that's it. Said
expect server crashes on Tuesday.
There is one other little note for anybody listening. That due to the extended season, there is a glitch with clans. Clans can no longer gain XP, and Hawthorne's weekly challenge will be disabled for the rest of the season.
Oh darn!
While they were investigating a fix, they found that it could result in all clans losing all of their earned ranks.
Ooh.
So yeah, I don't know what quite happened there, but I do kind of like these little glimpses that they give us sometimes into server-side issues and development struggles. I think that's just a little intriguing. So note that if you can't complete Hawthorne's challenges, that's why. Sorry if you were trying to get a clan staff that nobody will ever see.
I was.
Anyway, so Joe, the main reason why we have you on here tonight is several weeks ago, almost 2 months ago, actually, and I've kind of been waiting for a time to bring it up. I was hoping Bungie would address it in a TWAB back when we were still doing this on Monday nights, and we could bring you in and be like, hey, so on Thursday they talked about this. What are your thoughts? Since Bungie has not addressed this yet, and I'm sure it's going to be one of the last things they actually do before Beyond Light, we brought you in here to talk your thoughts on the vaulting process, which Corey and I have both talked about ad nauseum at this point, and your stance on how they're handling collections, because you told us you had some spicy thoughts.
So, I do.
So I'm just gonna lean
in.
back and I'm gonna let you have the floor.
So, I find that my vault, collections is a little bit better, but my vault is a mess. There is really no great way to go through my vault, to the point that you use some sort of app or web-based solution to sort through any of that stuff.
I use DIM.
I think most people probably use DIM. That's what I use whenever I'm actually trying to look through it. But then there's still the problem of like there's not a great connection between the two, that I can't like go through and clear out space through DIM. I mean, I'm sure people have workarounds and stuff like that and processes, but it's just not great. And so, anyway, long story short, I wish that the vault and collections would be somewhat combined. My dream is I think every Guardian, whether that's you want to create a spot in the tower, or I think something like cool would be in your ship, that you can have what is similar to like a tribute hall for your stuff. So I would like to have, even if it's only 3 or 4, I want to have like a loadout or like a mannequin, but I want to be able to physically see it. So I want to be able to go and like into like my hall, and I want to be able to place my top guns on a shelf, and I want to see the gun. I want to see it exist. I don't want a menu where I have to scroll through it. I mean, I think that's eventually part of it.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to go and experience it. And when I'm meeting up with my team, instead of sitting in orbit, I think it would be way better if I could it's like, hey, you guys are joining my fire team. You guys are on my ship right now. So I would rather have them all in there, and they can look through my stuff, all the achievements, the accomplishments, and then you can start doing
have like some trophies like for raids and dungeons. Give me a Guardian high rise.
And you could put plaques that have the date that you got it. So if it's day 1, it's something unique. And it's something that you can share with those people.
Honor your titles. Like have your seal pins just like hanging in the ceiling.
Yes. Yes.
We live in the tower, right? Like the humans live in the tower.
Know.
There's probably
like no idea.
There's probably some sort of like apartment system. Like it could be crappy, like the Matrix. Like
Zavala has an office.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like give us like an apartment in there, and
give
like
me
let
a
us
physical space that I can somewhat decorate, and then as I accomplish things, like I think it should gain clutter.
Yeah.
So if I've done something, like put a pile of something so this way, like think about the first time that you start playing with somebody and they invite you to their fire team, and you can go in and be like, oh my god, you've done this or you've done that. You can see it by walking around, and then it's not just sitting in orbit. Like it's like it creates the experience that, like when you're doing a raid and you guys are talking about the activity and everyone's like, I'm guilty of this, but like there's always a couple people just running around the area. Like I want that earlier, and I want that when I can showcase all my stuff. So like if there's a suit of armor like that, I'm waiting for a chest piece, like I would love to have an empty mannequin form or a Guardian form, I guess, where I can see it's like, oh, I got the helmet, got this, and then I'm missing this piece. Like show me that, give me that extra drive to be like, oh, it's missing, it's that one thing that I don't have. And then if I color it, if I like put my a shader on it, like put that shader on it, like let me display my stuff and show it, and then I think it's easier then to pick and choose what you're going to keep and what you're going to throw out, because when it's in a list, I'm either going to miss it or I don't care. Or it's like the vault is like my junk drawer. I'll be like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know if it's is good or bad. I'm going to put it in the vault. And then where it is right now for me is I have like 500 things in my vault. My postmaster's full. And it's just like, I haven't used any of this stuff because I was doing my light level grind. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know. So I want a physical space. I want to be able to display it. I want to be able to showcase everything that I have. And then maybe if the season reset or, whenever something gets sunset, maybe then you could move to like a chest in the corner where you have a menu for the odds and ends things that you don't want to put out on display, and you can only hold so many. But I think there needs to be a showcase piece. I have a raid. I want a raid banner with that form below it that shows me the armor pieces for it and any weapons that I've got, so I can see in a spot, be like, oh, look, I'm missing this one thing. That's going to give me extra drive. I know that I need it, but if I'm looking at an empty spot on a shelf, like that's brutal. And then I don't know. That's my take on it. That's what I want. That's what I want them to do. I don't want a menu. I want a physical space.
So I like that you bring all that up, because I think there's definitely room for both to coexist. Like have the vault kiosk for those who are impatient.
Sure.
But I definitely think the idea of like, so you go into your apartment, like say you're going down the hallway and you're seeing like your deeds, or like there's spots for each raid or something, like the current year's raids or something, and like legacy stuff from previous years and previous seasons is like in a back area, or like you have certain ones displayed. But like you have the weapons that you have and the armor you have, but like you see what you're missing and it's just visualized right there. Like that's so much easier than trying to discern what guns are from what raid, because they're not broken up like that in the menus. It's just auto rifles, scout rifles, etc. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to look for something and it's like classified, like unknown. Like that's fine for exotics. Don't do this to me for legendaries. Like Let me see it. Viewing anything in the vault. Of course, I'm on console. I guarantee you it's better for PC players. It is a pain in the ass to have to open up each and every gun in my vault, wait for it to load to see what the additional perks are. Let me see it all like from a pop-up screen. Mm-hmm. Like just when I hover over that gun, please just let all that pop up so I can see it. You already give me every other stat. Why not give me the other ones, even if it's just symbols? Like force me to learn what those symbols mean.
Also, think about the vault right now. Like, I have to go to the tower to go to the vault, or I could go to Dim and just pull out anything I want. Like, it feels so convoluted. Like, why can't I just pull stuff out of my vault anywhere? Mm-hmm. Because I can.
Which, I mean, and to that end, I think they tried to make the argument of, well, you can do it from the app now. Let me tell you something. The Destiny app is hot shit. It's terrible.
It's pretty bad. In a while. It's really bad.
I use it in the heat of battle, or if I'm in a raid and I don't want to go get my laptop. But I will be playing in my office after the move, so I'll have it sitting right there next to me on a side table. Mm-hmm. It's like Dim is just too valuable. Like if they could get that running on iPhone, like I'd never use anything else. I would stop complaining about the vault altogether at that point. But it's pretty bad when I have to go to a third-party API app just to see what I want the game to show me in my menus.
And it's a killer that the fact that the third-party app does a better job of displaying and sorting than the in-game thing, which, like, again, like, that's why differentiate yourself. Make it so it's like Dim is its own thing if you prefer that interface, because if you prefer the vault as it is right now, you definitely prefer Dim, I would imagine. Yeah. So, like, give me something else. Let it look different. And I don't, and I'm sorry, but like on a console, I've played on Stadia and I've played on PC a couple times, and like the menus load so much faster.
Night and day.
Like, don't make another menu for me. Don't make me something else where I have to hold another button and load something else and then look like it just doesn't work. Like, give me show, don't tell in Destiny. Like, you can still give me that information. Bungie's great at UIs. Just do it differently. And then, if you have a spot for most guns, or like specifically like locations and raids, if it's like, okay, there's a shelf for every gun in this raid, there's a shelf for this, then at that point you're picking. I feel like you're more likely to pick and choose what version of that gun you want to keep. Where right now, I can tell you that for the longest time, I think I had 15 gnawing hungers in my vault, because I'm like, I don't know which role I have to play with them. I don't know which one is best. Also, give me a firing range within that same little ecosystem, so that if I have people like my friends, let them play with my guns that I've got. Like,
I think that, so I love that you just said that, because I think that would motivate people to go for some of these harder endgame challenges. Maybe go for pinnacles. Like, for example, I think especially if console players could have played with some of these Recluse or Mountaintop, they would have been like, oh my god, I gotta go grind this, instead of, and like, they'll still see what a challenge it is, but they'll be more motivated to do it. I think if they could just try it out.
It's also it's a better reason to embrace community and friends in Destiny. And
for sure,
hands down, like, Destiny is not fun by yourself. It's not. I mean, like, it is for what, 15 hours.
What if you could go up to like armor mannequins in there, your friends could, and when they click to inspect the armor, there's an option to try it on and see what it looks like for their specific class.
Exactly. I think anything like that, and I think you could even get fun. Like, you could do one of two things. Let's say that I'm a Titan main, because I am, and one of my Warlock friends, I don't know if I have any, maybe one. So they come over and they try on your armor. You can do one of two things. Be like, obviously you can have an error message that says, hey, you can't try this on because it's outside of your class. Or you can do something funny where you have like the armor that's too big or that's too small, like that doesn't fit on them, and then it falls off as they like walk around, but it's obviously useless. Like, you can do, I feel like, again, just getting outside of the menu and incorporating the community aspect of Destiny, which is a huge part of it. I feel like it makes it more alive. It makes it feel like things that I've earned.
For sure.
And also, get people out of the tower. Like, give me another space to meet up.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all that. I really think that we're in desperate need not only of menu revamping, which we know menu revamps are coming. We saw for example, they're really cleaning up triumphs and catalysts and all that. All that's going to look a lot fresher this fall. But we do absolutely need something else. We need to revamp the
tribute hall is going away, right? Like,
yes. So everything on the Leviathan is going away, and that's something that people keep asking, like, well, where's Tribute Hall going? Where's Tribute Hall going? Like, I know approximately one person who uses the Tribute Hall, and he is just like beside himself right now that it's going away.
Yeah,
he goes there to test guns all the time.
But I think that's it, though. I think the Tribute Hall was really cool and is an awesome space. But right now it's not utilized well because there's really not a great incentive to go back there other than that one thing, which is like to test weapons. But so you just take that space and like you already have a lot of the assets built and like you don't need I don't need every single character type that I can kill so that I can test a gun. Give me one that I can toggle through like a light, a medium, and a heavy boss. And give me like a smaller version of that, but then take all the other elements. Like the Tribute Hall is such a cool thing. Just make it universal. Make it like so it's with me all the time.
Take the party barge and park it right outside the tower. Put it in the hangar or something.
Give me my own little hangar spot that like in my tower. That's like my spot. Whatever. I don't. You can put my ship, my Sparrow.
Oh my god, dude! Can you imagine having a garage for like you could have like three or four Sparrows on display at any time. You could have like multiple ships in the hangar. Oh my god, like ghost shells. Have like a shelf with just like 6 or 7 ghost shells displayed. Have like your artifacts you've collected. Oh my god, like the artifacts you've got over the seasons. Man,
kill Tribute Hall and give me a garage. Give me a hangar.
Yeah, and this is awesome. Bungie, hire us, please. We'll conceptualize it for you. This is awesome.
Oh, dude, I know jokes. So, like, I do a lot of mock-ups for work, and I have thought so many times, I'm like, should I just mock this up and like send it to them? But then it's just like I don't want to put that much effort into it to just be so disappointed when they don't respond. But yeah, give a man. See, like, even talking about it right now, you can think about all the things that give me a hangar. Give me a hangar so you can make it look as grungy as you want. When you kill the Tribute Hall, make one of those pods look like we ripped it out and it's, like, hooked up with, like, car batteries or something like that so that it looks like we've taken it from the Tribute Hall. Like, you could... I think you could have so much fun with that.
Have, like, a half-beaten-down Callus statue sitting in there.
Yeah, like, all the things that you've taken. Oh, like, you... Oh, man. That's what I want, a physical space. Yeah. And I don't think it's outside. It's definitely not outside of the realm of possibility for the engine or what, because they've already done kind of each aspect of it. It just would take a lot of time for something that's not. I feel like it doesn't feel like it has a lot of value, but like it's where you spend a lot of your time in Destiny is looking through that stuff, or where you should be spending more time. I don't know. That's my hot take on it. I don't know. What do you guys?
No. I think that's awesome. I've been talking with one of my buddies, Max, has been on this train for probably the last year or so. Being like, give me a Guardian apartment. Let me deck it out with my achievements. Let me deck it out with the raids I've done, with winning in trials. Like, you get 3 wins in trials, you get a special banner. You get 5, you get another one. You go flawless, you get the final one or something. He says, like, let me display this stuff. Like, let it be virtual bragging rights. Let me upload pictures of this to people on Twitter and on Reddit. Like, let me share this with my friends and be like, man, if you come play, like, you can get this stuff too. And like, someone will be like, oh, where'd you get that? Like, oh, you can't get it because it's from a raid that's in the vault now.
Yeah. Like, oh, yes. And again, if you go with more of like some sort of plaque next to it that has like a date at which you accomplished it, be like, you literally can't change that part of it. Like, yeah, you can get the achievement, but like, I got the achievement from day one.
I've been in favor of this for a long time. When we booted up Destiny 2, we got to see all of our achievements from Destiny 1 play out and who we did those things with. I would love for if you had a physical triumph and commemoration of, like, the first time you beat the raid, it says who your fire team was there.
Yeah.
Also, like, that is something that's really, like, maybe, like, link it to their Bungie.net profile or something. Like, let you instantly call them up to a fire team if you click a certain button on there or something, like automatically invites to game, invites to party.
They should, in reality, and this is probably going a step too far, maybe, but like every raid should have to end with like a selfie.
I end them all with it. I end every single last one of them with a screenshot. I've done it since Destiny 1.
But I think the game should just do it.
Oh, yeah. I think the selfie emote makes that really funny, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm typically now the one who stands up in the front doing it, and everybody's trying to like emote behind me. Like we all got the callus chair. I was like, all right, and that's it. Everybody pops out the callus chair. We're taking a picture. We're taking a group picture right now.
Yep.
Right now.
I'm in that photo.
You are in that photo. Yes, you are. We need to get Corey that emote now.
I just want to raid.
Give me an emote wall in there that like flickers between like my 6 favorite ones or something.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, like pick a random one.
Yeah. Oh my God! Like, can you just give me that? Give me Shax's mixtape that's in Zavala's office. Give me the speaker's mask. Oh, God, man.
Oh man, then no joke. And you could then the lore that you collect in game and that you scan, like you could put that somewhere.
Like a bookshelf.
I am really happy that they are making the lore way easier to access and to read in game now. Like, it's definitely better than it was in D1, but take the Destiny 1 Grimoire and add it into here. Like, add the entire universe in here. Take the Bungie.net passages, put them in game. Like, so many people are going to miss out on this because they don't go and read it. Like, what if you had like a library on your shelf and like you had one that was just for the light, one that was for darkness, one that was for dusk and dawn, and then like legacy, like it's all Destiny 1 lore or something.
Oh yeah,
like, the Book of Sorrow is like on an altar or something.
You could absolutely do that.
God,
there's so many ways to accomplish this in a non-menu-y way that I think would be great.
I think really to achieve that, because it had to be seamless of you like leaving the tower into your own space and like only people in your fire team can join you. I think something like that they would hypothetically come with the Witch Queen at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they probably would want to be fully next gen just to make sure it's not stuttering on old consoles. I could definitely see that being a massive issue on Xbox One and PS4.
Well, again, like I can do that on the tribute hall right now, right? Like, like if I go to the tribute hall and you're in my fire team, you see my tribute.
No. I totally agree on that. I guess I'm saying more of like our more grand ideas.
Oh, sure.
Just the amount of loading it would take. I mean, it takes like 20 seconds for me just to go up the steps from Hawthorne towards where Zavala is. I get stuck in an invisible loading screen.
It's really funny when you jump and then you spin the camera around and it just says loading and you're stuck in midair, but you're like
so
Titans.
Has anybody done means to an end? That's the worst loading ever. You're there for like a full 30 seconds if you're on a non-SSD console. It's terrible. So, I really like these ideas, though. I think this is something that's awesome. It should definitely happen. And I think it not makes you prioritize your roles, but I think it makes you experiment with them a little bit more. That way you're leaving out your default one. You still have your 9 slots in your inventory, but like, I don't know, like if there was a way in the app to like access your mounted guns or something. I think like, just having I just transfer that over.
It's if you take a physical form of all the things that we're kind of doing and like give me loadouts, give me X amount of things, and so like I should at the very least be able to have a Crucible one, like a raiding one, and then like I think minimum of 3, or I guess Gambit's of 4. Just give me that, but make it a physical thing.
Yeah,
so that I can look at it. And then again, I think you're right. I think it forces you to pick. Because right now I don't have to, because I have a junk drawer that I can fit at least 500 things until the end of the season.
I was at 390 items 2 nights ago, and I whittled that down to 220, I believe. And I fully intend to whittle that down to under 150 once transmog and its process gets announced. So many pages are just armor that I'm waiting for.
I have a lot of armor, but again, like it's a hard time to go through it. I was trying to do this the other day and be like, okay, which armor do I need to keep? And then because all the sets aren't together, it's like all the helmets and all this. And like, okay, did I have this one of that one? It's like, and you have to keep going, or it's just not. Just not
and
great.
that's why the community keeps asking every single week when the 12 comes up. The first question in the Reddit thread or on the Twitter reply is always, when are you going to talk about transmog? Like, some of us are seriously out of space in our vaults. You either have got to increase vault space with Beyond Light, which I think they need to do anyways, even if it's just by like 100 spots.
Yeah,
you probably need to do it. And they're like, what can we safely delete? Like, did you guys maybe reveal this too early to us, or what? Because like, people have been asking for details on this since like March or April, since they announced it.
Also, as soon as I acquire something, it should be eligible for like at least for me to use it as a look. I don't care if I can't use that as my base thing for my stats and everything like that. I get that. That's fine. But like, once I acquire a piece of armor, I shouldn't have to keep it to be able to enable it so as a transmog it to look like something else. I've unlocked everything in this on this planet. I don't want to use any of the stats for that armor, but I like how it looks. I should be able to do that. I shouldn't have to keep anything because they have a record of me unlocking it.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think that transmog is going to change a lot of that. How they're approaching collections, how they're approaching sunsetting weapons. I think prototype versions of what we're proposing here are coming into effect. We just want it all in one area, basically.
There absolutely is some like-minded individual at Bungie that has like a version of this. Be like, look what I built, and they
let
tell
me
their
put
friends,
my emblems up as artwork in my Guardian apartment.
Yeah,
It needs to be all dead orbit all the time.
What? I bet there's what music do you think plays when you're dead orbit?
Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance.
Okay, that was a fast answer. You had that queued up.
I've been making
Man knows what he wants
forever that we listen to My Chemical Romance and Taking Back Sunday.
See, I feel like Rammstein would be playing.
Maybe. I feel like we're just like kind of like depressed, but like we have like really like upbeat music at the same, like it's depressing lyrics, but it's like you can't help but like bop your head to the beat.
Yeah.
It's like a better Warp Tour in that apartment, I feel. Minus the Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah.
Like Warlocks, I kind of feel like I don't know, like Warlocks, I think like you've got like classical music playing probably. You've got like Bach and Beethoven playing, like maybe Yo-Yo Ma, and then like Titans. I feel it's Metallica, it's Led Zeppelin. Let me put my raid Spotify list on in my Guardian apartment for people to hear, because it's tradition that I listen to when the levee breaks as I'm starting a raid or as I'm teaching one. I need that drum beat because it feels like it's out of Halo for like the first 5-6 hits. And then the blues guitar riff comes in. It's just like, damn, this is like as perfect as you can make a 9-minute song. Give it to me.
You know what would be a fun exclusive if Xbox could swing it, and it's way too close to there's no way it would happen. I think it would be neat if you'd see some Halo armor make its way into
my god, dude, listen, like all I want is like I want you to like go over to like a Guardian record player or something and like hit X to play music, and like it like cues up like the Halo theme the first time, like the first 4 notes of the Gregorian chant, and then like just like a lockdown happens because you're listening to something unauthorized and you have to do this long quest to unlock it, and like, oh, that file seems to have been deleted and locked by the Vanguard or something.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Give me a wacky quest, but like when you do it, like then you get to like tie your Spotify to it or something. Like, oh my god, like let me have a preset like 10-track playlist that can play in my apartment and in my firing range. Like, man, I'm telling you, I need Smells Like Teen Spirit. I need Lithium playing. I need some Radiohead. I need some Pearl Jam in there. Of course, I gotta have my Chemical Romance. I need some Green Day. I need some really, really bad 2000s pop punk music.
Needs to be a little fun in Destiny again. When Cade died, the comedy kind of died with him, which is
It did, and I think that's like why they're playing Drifter up so much right now.
Yeah.
He's kind of like with Shadowkeep, and especially with Season of Arrivals, he's kind of stepped up to take that position, I feel.
That's very true. And it's like, Drifter, you funny? He's like, I don't know, I guess.
And like him and Eris's banter during Prophecy and during the Arrivals dungeon is so good.
It is good. It is good banter.
It's great. It's great world building, is what it is. Because there are little lore hints that get dropped there.
Just no Nathan Fillion.
Corey, is there anything you would like to see in a hypothetical redesign or a Guardian apartment before we move on?
No. I think you guys said it all. I think you guys said it all, honestly.
Corey wants a sandwich bar in his apartment?
Yeah, I want just I want some. I just want an Earl of sandwich. It's like a Richie Rich situation where he has the McDonald's in his house, but I just want an Earl of sandwich in there and just walk in and get whatever I want all the time.
Dad, not found.
You're a mess. You are a mess, my friend.
I know.
All right, well, if that's it, we're going to move on to our last topic of the night, which, of course, is the lore corner.
Lore corner.
Lore corner. Like, I'm going to, like, have to remix, like, the Blues Clues We Just Got a Letter song into We Just Got Some Lore. We Just Got Some Lore. Like, I want, like, a Bife jingle to that. Guys, if you remember last week, we talked about Zavala. We talked about the Traveler's Chosen sidearm. Talked about maybe some faith in Zavala is going away. Before we dive into the lore, Colonel, have you done the Traveler's Chosen quest yet?
I have.
Okay, good, because we're about to fully spoil the fate of two of our planetary vendors this week and the others in subsequent weeks. This week we're going to talk about Sloane and Asher and what our favorite cantankerous Vanguard members are up to right now. Not really going to dive into too much of what they did before all this. I guess we'll start with Sloane. Sloane, we really don't know a whole lot about her history. We know that she helped build the wall with Zavala and with Saladin, and with Shax, excuse me. She kind of reflects on that a little bit in these lore passages. But I want to bring up the actual final lore book that we get, Sloane Ryastard. Just as she watched the Guardian ship roar off Titan for the last time, Deputy Commander Sloane went into her office and put on the Golden Age technology she had claimed from the Hive. This, of course, is a mission as part of the Traveler's Chosen quest line that you do. She doesn't understand the language as she puts her head into a hood, but she chooses the green for yes option. We find out this is a power suit. It's kind of like the Metroid armor in a lot of ways. It's kind of like Samus Aran's armor. The suit blocks light, though. And it's basically attaching itself to her. And as she walks outside, she describes it. It's from her point of view that it's almost like Titan is driving the invaders off. It's trying to drive the pyramids away herself. And the Hive start charging her, and she rips them apart, and the suit amplifies her laughter, her battle cry. And she basically charges towards the Hive. Like, she is a one-woman army left on Titan. Out of any of the Vanguard members that get left behind, because spoiler alert, Sloane, Asher, and Vance all get left behind. Sloane is easily, like, the only one that could have feasibly survived us leaving her there. And I've been pretty clear about my feelings on DCV. I don't think it's going to be for longer than a year. I do think we're going to go back to Titan during Witch Queen. And I think we're going to go back to Titan and go back to the Dreadnought, personally. I really want to see, because they've said that when we go back to destinations, they're going to be changed. And I really wonder how this specific lore entry is going to change that. We're not really going to talk lore this week, I guess. We're going to do more of speculation, like what we think is going on here. It's pretty clear, though. Sloane, I almost call her Samus. Sloane has a power suit, and she's just going to fight the Hive with her bare hands. She doesn't have the light inside the suit, but she does say maybe she can learn to control the arc energy through the suit, but it's going to take some time. Asher, on the other hand...
Asher's because he has no hand. It's a robot hand.
I hate you so much. Asher's is much more ominously named. Asher Conclusion. As Asher Near watched his assistant's ship tear into orbit for the last time, it occurred to him that he had not expressed how truly satisfactory he had found some of their work. Asher did actually like us deep down inside. Let that sink in. He likes the Guardian. Briefly entertains the thought of leaving a letter, but there were others more deserving of his thoughts. He's right back to being a dick. And if he worked in descending priority, he may never make it to the assistant, which would defeat the purpose of the exercise completely. Instead, he went to the Pyramidion. The Vex are not born, yet not created. Desired to understand this conundrum brought Asher to Io. He reasoned the pyramid with its alien resources as an unknowable power had likely come for the same purpose. The dark ship sought to take the secrets of the Vex for itself, but Asher had staked his claim and was prepared to defend it. Basically, Asher goes to the gate of the Pyramidion, and the Vex responded as he knew they would. He was prepared. He kills them all on the plates. Proceeds inside like we do, destroys the first 100 Vex, then the second. A Minotaur roars into the being before him, and he crushes its radiolorian core in his metal fist. Climbs forward over their crawling limbs and slips into the cooling ropes of their dead fluid. Asher swallows a mouthful of blood and keeps moving. And the Vex are watching him. They're just watching him do this. And they're shuddering, twitching even, as Asher walks by them. He has this just ability to walk by them, and it's likely because of his metal arm. It's because of his Vex arm that he has. He passes, like, they recognize him that, wow, he just killed like 300 of our people, and he also has a piece of us in him. Like, he's worthy to pass, essentially. He comes to the Radiolorian Lake. He looks up where the sky should be, finds another impossible shape, another contradiction. He sees the lake lapping gently at the metallic shores. And it ends with the man reached up to the lake with his metal arm, and then he reached up with his arm of flesh. He reached with both, and he brought the lake down. Basically, Asher destroys the Pyramidion here to keep the darkness from learning the secrets of the Vex. We'll learn in Beyond Light if he was successful or not, because there are a lot of Vex on Europa that we've been seeing in the gameplay snippets lately. I'm not entirely sure that he succeeded. And if we go back to Io, I was sharing this speculation with a friend, or rather he shared it with me, and we kind of emphasized it and drew on it a little bit. What if you come back and Asher is completely Vexified at this point and is the new boss of the Pyramidion Strike when they redo it?
I mean, I could see that.
He's just been, like, driven mad.
Yeah. I could totally see that, because they've changed bosses before.
Mm-hmm. Like, you have the option to play, like, the classic version or the new version.
Or it could just be randomized in the playlist, right?
That's
like
true.
It was in,
That's true.
What, Destiny 1 had a lot of that.
Like, you just get forced to play the new one as part of a quest chain or something, and then after that it's randomized.
Yeah.
They do that, sometimes from the menu you can select, like, the heroic version of, like, a mission, but if you do, like, the playlist, it's, like, the other version. But also,
it's worth it. They did this in Rise of Iron with the what do you call it? The Sivified enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, you could do something like that.
That's it. It's a real short, sweet, to the point lore corner. We're going to talk Ana over the next 2 weeks. That kind of demands 2 episodes. Just as a quick preview, we're going to do Ana. We're going to talk Ana, Elsie, and Clovis Bray over the next 2 weeks. Going to find a way to divide those up. And then after that, we will finally get to one I've been wanting to do literally since we started this show, which is the Trials of Osiris lore and the fate of Brother Vance, the final part of the Exodus quest line. After that, then it's just kind of filling out the major players from this year and leading into Beyond Light. We're going to do the Drifter and the Dredgens. We're going to do Saint 14. We're going to do the seasonal lore. And I think we're going to do Fall Grandma, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that has been Lore Corner. And with that, back to you, Corey.
Lore Corner. Oh, no.
We just got some lore.
I think that's worse than any dad joke I've ever told on this show or through the Twitter account.
It's not. It's absolutely not. I think it's end of hero.
Do we just need a ghost that looks like Blue? It's just Blue's head.
That would be disturbing.
Oh man. Well, I think that's going to do it for Tower Casuals.
Jam-packed episode.
It was
keep saying every week, like, oh, we're gonna have a guest on, and we're not gonna have a whole lot to talk about, and then like, well, we wouldn't have had this week, but they decided to do Ghosts 2.0. They decided to have a conversation about if they were or were not being bought out, and if they could legally talk about it. So
that's so funny, man. Remember when we started this show? We were like, you know what? This is going to be like a nice little half-hour show that we do on at night.
It's been an hour and a half every episode for the last 5 episodes, I think.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be a boss rush
we have
show
a
without
lot
it being
to talk
longer
about.
than like you expect it to be, So.
But yeah, one last note before we get out of here. With it coming to Game Pass this week, anybody who wants to jump in and play on Xbox, you do have access to the expansions as well as Beyond Light. I do not believe Traveler's Chosen is locked behind the season. I think that's a quest that's available to everybody. I definitely recommend going and doing it if you are either returning or if you are brand new. It's kind of the perfect intro quest to the universe in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. It's a better New Light quest, I think, than New Light itself is.
Yeah.
So even though everything that you do is on planets that are going to go away and activities that are going to go away, it's a great nostalgic trip. You'll see a lot of veteran guardians out there, and you'll get some of the coolest loot I think they've ever given out. You'll finally get a masterworked Mindbenders, and you'll get an awesome sidearm.
Yeah.
And Malicious Birthright if you do the first half. So,
I mean, I know we don't want to keep the show going any longer, but I wonder what New Light's going to turn into once.
I think that's, frankly, one of the biggest questions remaining at this point. Outside of Transmog, what the hell is going to happen to New Light? Because we know they said they wanted to streamline the experience, and that's part of why the Cosmodrome is coming back, but man, I don't know how that's going to work, especially since we're like 99.9% sure that Uldren is going to be the vendor in the Cosmodrome now.
Yeah.
Just like, how do you do that? Like, no, wait, you can't talk to this guy. You haven't played Forsaken yet. Yeah. You're going to kill him.
Yeah. So,
his resurrection cutscene's going to be out of here now because Black Armor is gone. It's going to be weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe tack it on to the end of the Forsaken campaign?
I wonder if they'll do like some sort of like the way that Mass Effect did it with Mass Effect like 2 if you didn't play Mass Effect 1. Not that you're going to make choices or anything, but they're just going to have some sort of like intro story. Here's what happened, here's what you missed, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really curious to see though, and I'm fully willing to delete a Guardian so I can play through the actual New Light experience now, and not the crappy one that's in there now where I have to go play matches of Crucible and Gambit before I can pick up the first bounties. Then I have to go back to Crucible or Gambit, and then I can finally come back and get my weeklies.
I just played through New Light with a buddy of mine, and it's a little painful because I can't. Also, like me having played through everything, and like I can't guide him because I don't know what things he can do and what he can't do, and what's lit up on his screen and what's not. Mm-hmm. And like he can join me for most things, but it's just like we're not making like progress for him. And as a new Light, I would say New Light user, New Light person, like you don't know what to pick, so you need someone to be like, oh, pick this thing. We'll go do this right now, but you can't do that. It's just it's missing components. It feels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or be extremely guided. It needs to be like, hey, you just need to play through this thing, and then you can do everything.
That's part of my reason. Like, I go, it's cool to bring the Cosmodrome back, but if you're going to bring all that back and you're going to say like, hey, this is New Light, I do think this is them gearing up for saying once we go next gen, like, congratulations, we've been able to compress the file size so much. Like, especially with the news that the Series S is going to have file sizes that are like 30% the size of Series X. We already know Series X was going to be a little bit more compressed. Like, damn, just bring all the planets and all the campaigns back next year or something once it goes next gen and just be like, congratulations, here you go. You can play through the entire story from Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
from Destiny 1 through the Witch Queen. Like, how incredible would that be? Like 100 story missions, all these adventures.
I would
50
start
strikes.
I would probably start a new game, like a new character, just to do that. Honestly,
I would not.
I would. Mostly because I have a third slot open.
I say that knowing full well that I would absolutely go play the Taken King campaign again. Those are my favorite campaign missions they've ever done in these games. Especially the one where like you're climbing the old tower in the Cosmodrome trying to get Cade's stash.
Yeah.
That's a really cool one to me.
Do you remember that one mission in
the
Cosmodrome where you have to fight to that one ship that's like docked off to the side, and when you go there, like you and your ghost have that moment where he's like, "Oh, remember all the cool things we did together?"
Yeah.
Some crazy. I want more things like that at the end of seasons.
I want that, and I really selfishly want the Gjallarhorn quest line back, because you have to go to Bannerfall and craft it in this like crucible arena, and you're being attacked by all these fallen while you're gathering parts for a gun and trying to get extracted. And then when you actually go to the place in the Cosmodrome, it's an area where you've never been, obviously, and you're having to like assassinate everybody on the way, like all gillied up style. It is balls hard to defend the point while Gjallarhorn's being made, but once you do it, you have unlimited ammo in that gun to kill all the walkers they drop. Like that is one of the defining moments of the game for me. It was like, that's where it was like, okay, they did this for the memes, and I love them for it.
Yeah, they had fun with it. You could tell
this is so great. Like,
give
give me more exotic quests like this.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to be handed an exotic weapon, like, yes, give me that moment where I can not only like have to like work for it a little bit, but give me that moment where it's like, hey, this weapon has this thing, like go to town, really try it out. Oh,
you are a space god, act like one.
Cripes. What's in the tribute hall, the exotic that we got there? Bad Juju. That was a great quest.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar, reminiscent.
I mean, and everybody, of course, likes Whisper. They like Outbreak.
Whisper's great.
We know that those cost extra money to make. So I'm kind of hoping that's where some of this Game Pass money is going, is towards things like that and more dungeons. But
let me find a way to let me pay you for that content specifically, and then make that content, and I will pay you. I will give you this money for things like that if you can find a way to get me to pay you for that.
Yeah. So. All right, Corey. Now we'll let you end the show.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know we kind of stuck around longer than I would say usually do, but that's a lie. Thank you guys so much for watching live on Twitch. Remember to follow us there if you want to watch us on Thursday nights and catch our other shows. If you can't join us live, you can go over to our podcast feed. You can download it on Friday nights or watch us on YouTube or on our website at bossrushgames.com. Check out our plethora of shows, including Arsenal X, our Xbox podcast, which we all are also on. Joe, thank you for joining us. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter as Colonel Panic. Check the notes around the episode for the spelling. It's goofy. Or the Arsenal X show notes. I'm also in those ones.
Yes. It's actually nice. You just click on his name and it takes you right there. So
right there.
Right there. Josh, where can we find you?
As always, you can find me on Twitter at Josh_Finn. That's Finn with 2 N's. Follow me for my Avengers GIFs that are describing my PlayStation 5 acquiring experience right now. And my sure-to-be agonization over Tuesday morning's imminent pre-ordering fiasco.
Oh my gosh, did you see that they said supplies will be limited?
Dude, I'm so terrified right now. I'm absolutely terrified. I need to get 2 of these things, Corey. I don't need just 1. I have to get 2.
I know. You can find me at IamCoreyHD on Twitter and Instagram. And you can find me on a plethora of shows here on Boss Rush Games. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Josh. I want to thank everybody so much for watching. And until next time.